Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jasbir from Jawahar Kala Kendra, and I welcome you all to JKK's online learning series. आज का सेशन है योग फॉर आर्टिस्ट्स और इसके लिए हमारे साथ हैं मिस दिव्या शर्मा. She is a level 3 qualified yoga professional from YCB Yoga Certification Board Ayush Ministry. She has completed her masters in the same field and is also certified in ALMC Ayurveda course from S. Vyas, Bengaluru. She has been taking yoga workshops and sessions since last 5 years. तो आइए शुरू करते हैं हमारी आज की वर्कशॉप. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
A great good afternoon to all the participants and students. Namaste. My name is Divya Sharma, and as I've been introduced by Jasbir, I'm a yoga professional. I've qualified NET and also planning my further studies in the field of yoga. Today we'll talk about yoga for artists. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, audible.
All right. So our today's topic is yoga for artists. So let's start our session with the prayer. Why prayer? For any auspicious thing, anything auspicious should start with a prayer. So I would recommend all of you to please adopt any comfortable cross-leg sitting position. किसी भी cross-leg sitting position में बैठेंगे and दोनों हाथों से ज्ञान मुद्रा बनाएंगे. Index and your thumb together. Press 3 fingers straight on your respective knees. You can sit upright with your back straight. You can keep your eyes closed and just repeat after me the following prayer. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanam Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejas Vinavadi Tamastu Mavid Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Taking one deep breath in, एक लंबा गहरा श्वास भीतर भरेंगे. Exhaling, open your eyes. So the prayer we chanted is called Shanti Path, and you can see the meaning of the prayer is also been given. Any prayer is a start for any session you conduct, for an auspicious session. So now let's talk about yoga. What is yoga? The word yoga is derived from the Sanskrit root yuj, meaning to bind, join, or attach. It is a union between a person's own consciousness and universal consciousness. योग शब्द की उत्पत्ति संस्कृत के शब्द युज से हुई है, जिसका शाब्दिक अर्थ है बांधना, जोड़ना या संलग्न करना। यह एक व्यक्ति की स्व चेतना और सार्वभौमिक चेतना के बीच का संयोजन है। Yoga is a union between person's own consciousness to the universal consciousness. Practice of yoga can be physical, mental, and spiritual activity that leads or bring the practitioner self-realization. Yoga is one of the 6 orthodox systems of Indian philosophy. योग का अभ्यास शारीरिक, मानसिक और आध्यात्मिक गतिविधि हो सकता है जो साधक में आत्मानुभूति को आगे बढ़ाता है या लाता है। योग भारतीय दर्शन शास्त्र के 6 रूढ़िवादी प्रणालियों में से एक है। So this we are talking, I am giving you a brief introduction about yoga. How the yoga practices can be physical, mental, and spiritual activity, leading a practitioner for self-realization, self-assessment. And yoga is one of the 6 orthodox systems of Indian philosophy. Now, these are some of the definitions we find in our traditional text. ये कुछ योग की परिभाषाएं हैं जो हमें हमारे ट्रेडिशनल टेक्स्ट, हमें पुराने ग्रंथों से मिलती हैं। What are these? योग चित्त वृत्ति निरोध. What is योग? According to Patanjali, PYS, a very famous traditional text of yoga, or can be called Bhagavad Gita, says that yoga is chitta vritti nirodha. Chitta is what? Mental modification. So this reference we find in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, chapter number 1. You can see in bracket, the first is the chapter, second is the sutra number. Chapter number 1, sutra number 2. The second reference we have is from Bhagavad Gita. Yogaha karmasu kaushalam. Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 2, verse 50. Yog karmasu kaushalam. Yoga is skill in action. योग क्या है? योग dexterity in action. It is a skill, that is yoga. Anything which is done skillfully can be called yoga according to Bhagavad Gita. The third definition we find about yoga is Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse 48. Samatvam yog uchyate. Samatvam is what? Balance. Yoga is a balance, harmonious development. So these are the definitions we find in our traditional text. पुराने ग्रंथों में हमें योग की ये परिभाषाएं मिलती हैं. Now let's talk about why we need to know the yoga and the artist, why we need to do the study of yoga. So as per anatomy or as per science, human brain is divided into 2 equal halves. Our human mind is divided into 2 equal halves. I don't know how many among you are from science background. So human mind, according to science or anatomically, is divided into 2 equal halves. The right brain, the right hemisphere, and the left brain, the left hemisphere. The left side of the brain is logical, systematic, and ordered. It is involved in the processing, patterning, defining, and describing. It can also be called as an intellectual brain of our body. So the left brain is intellectual brain. It does the practice of logics, systematic study, and order. Whereas the right side of our brain, the right hemisphere, is more intuitive, immediate, and sensory, acting instinctively and without words and concept. It can also be called as creative side of our brain. So right side of the hemisphere controls the creativity of our body, spatial ability, the artistic and musical skills. Also, as per the text, the right side of the brain controls the left side of the body, and the left side of our brain controls the right side of our body. So now, since we know the right side of our brain helps in building the creativity, so yoga helps to unfold the inner potentialities of the right brain, which helps an artist in his artistic skills. So this is the importance of yoga. Through exploring the capacities of the right brain, which is the creative side of one's personality, yoga practices can be used. So we need to study so that we can unfold our inner potentialities, the creative side of our right brain. And all individuals are different. Every individual is different from other because of this creative side of the personality. So far, I think it should be clear to you why we are understanding yoga, why we are reading yoga in reference to artist. Now, let's know what are the various limbs. What tools does yoga has in its kitty for the artist? What all practices it has for this, for exploring the creativity? So these are some limbs of yoga, the practices it gives. First, yama, niyama, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. Today we will be talking about just few of them, asan, pranayam. So now we know there are 8 limbs of yoga. Now let's come to asan. We take up the third limb of yoga, which comprises asanas. So asanas can be broadly divided into 4 types. Standing asanas, you can see Tadasan, Ardha Chakrasan, Padhastasan, Veerbhadrasan. These are some examples we find in standing asanas. Then we have sitting asanas, Bhadrasan, Mountain, Ushtrasan, Shashankasan, and Sarvangasana. Then there are asanas done on our spine. When we lie down, the practices we adopt are called supine asanas. When we lie down on our spine, the practices are known as supine. So what other practices comes under it? Uttan Padasan, Pavan Muktasan, Setu Bandhasan, boat pose. Then we have asanas done on our abdomen. The practices which are done on our abdomen, those are called prone asanas. Proning, you must be very familiar with this word since this pandemic situation is going on. Excuse me. Doctors were recommending proning position. So proning is a position wherein we lie down on our abdomen. So what are the asana practice we have in prone? We have Dhanurasana, boat pose, and then pranayam. In pranayam, we have Anulom Vilom pranayam, Bhramari pranayam. So these are some of the practices. Also, along with the asana practices, the traditional text, when you will study the yoga, you will find the traditional text also prescribes the kriyas. Under kriyas, we have Jalneti, Sutraneti, Tratak. These are some examples you'll find in kriyas. What are kriyas? Kriyas are the cleansing practices for our body. Now let's move forward from asanas to pranayama. What is pranayama? As per the traditional text, Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the Bible of Yoga, it is also known as Bible of Yoga, defines pranayam as tasmin sati श्वास प्रश्वास योर गति विच्छेदः प्राणायामः. Yoga is an art of establishing harmony between individual existence and cosmic existence. This definition we have learned so far in our first slide, and pranayam is an application of this art through which one develops an awareness of pranic activities incessantly going on within and without. You understand what is an application? We know yoga helps in establishing harmony between what? Individual consciousness, individual existence, and the cosmic existence. And pranayam is an application for this harmony between individual existence and cosmic existence. Through what? Through the awareness of pranic activities, which are already there within our body, which are already inbuilt in us. योग एक व्यक्तिगत अस्तित्व और ब्रह्मांडीय अस्तित्व स्थापित करने की एक कला है, और प्राणायाम इस कला की एक विधि है जिसके माध्यम से एक व्यक्ति के अंदर प्राणिक क्रियाओं के प्रति, जो कि उसके अंदर और बाहर निरंतर गतिशील है, जागरूकता विकसित होती है. श्वास की गति में एक विराम प्राणायाम है पतंजलि योगा सूत्र. एज पर पतंजलि योगा सूत्र, pause in a movement of breath is pranayam. So now we have some brief idea about the yoga, why we should do yoga, and the tools, the various limbs yoga has. There are some 8 limbs we learned. Then we did some study on the concept of asana, pranayam. Now the artist. Broadly, artist can be classified in 3 types. The first comes visual artist. Visual artist includes painters, sculptors, printmakers, craft person, filmmakers. Second type is the musician. It comprises literally artists. Their art includes fiction, drama, poetry, and prose. The third type is dancers, the performing artist. The performing artist art includes dance, music, and theater. So these are some broad classifications of the different type of artists. Today we will be taking only visual artists, their practices, and the further requirements. So first artist we take up is visual artist. What are the qualities that a visual artist should possess? Some quality which a visual artist should possess is good vision. If it is about visuals, he or she should have good vision. Second, mental concentration. Also, the concentration of the artist should be good, so that he can have a good vision. Without a clear vision, visual artist cannot excel in his art. The third, there might be some hand exercises which we can also give to visual artists, because their hands are also used to some great extent. The fourth quality is breathing exercises. Like the visual artist, it's better if they have good lung capacity. Then only they can sit for longer period of time. People with short lung capacity, with less breathing capacity, cannot sit for longer period of time. This is an proven, already experienced research done. So now, being familiar with the qualities, I hope you all agree to these qualities of the visual artist. We'll throw some light upon the asanas for various visual artists. In asanas, I'll be introducing you to Tadasana, Sarvangasana, the practice for visual artists. In pranayam, I'll be covering Anulom Vilom pranayam, Brahmari pranayam, Kriyas, Jalneti, Trataka. These are some practices which are very good for the visual artist. Coming to Tadasana. You can see the picture in front of you. A person is standing on the toes with heels raised up, arms up and gazing front. This is a picture of Tadasana. What is it? It is a traditional posture. Traditional posture because we find its reference in our traditional text. इसका reference हमें योग की जो traditional text है वहां पे हमें मिलता है. For anything to be accurate, we need to have some traditional text for the accuracy. So we find the reference of tradition, Tadasana in the traditional text. Hat Pradipika. What it is? Its position resembles of a palm tree. Tadasana or its English name is palm tree. Palm tree is erect and straight. Hence it's called Tadasana and the palm tree pose. So its position is erect and straight. How the practice should be done? Standing with your feet erect, legs together, arms by the side, gaze in front. Slowly, you need to raise your hands up to the shoulder level towards the sky. Your palms should face each other's, fingers should point upward. Then slowly you have to raise heel and you have to stand on your toes. You need to raise your heels as much as possible, stretching up the body. While returning, you slowly first have to bring your heels on the ground and then your arms down. Now, few things you have to remember for the practice of Tadasana. This is a balancing posture or the pose. Do not make hasty movement so that you lose balance. In the beginning, you can start with the legs apart. So first and foremost thing, these are some points to remember while doing the practice of Tadasana. This is a balancing pose. So you need to first start your practice by gazing front. किसी भी एक पॉइंट पे सामने आप अपने ध्यान को केंद्रित करेंगे, दोनों फीट के साथ ज्वाइन होंगे. Then slowly you have to raise your arms up with inhalation, raising your arms straight over the head up. Do not make any haste so that you lose the balance. Going and coming should be very balanced because it is a balancing posture. In the beginning, you can start with legs apart. If initially you find keeping your legs together is difficult, you can start with the legs apart. Talking about the benefits and the limitations of the practice Tadasana. Tadasana practice helps in improving your height. Spine becomes flexible, visceropeptosis and pain in the backbone is removed. Those with complaints of reeling sensation shouldn't be practicing Tadasana. Also, as we learned, it is a good balancing practice which helps in improving our concentration. These are some anatomical benefits. Your spine, it's good for your spine. Visceropeptosis is a disease wherein the person finds that his organs find in the abdominal regions are coming out. They are bulging out. There is a heaviness, the bulkiness. So with the practice of Tadasana, these problems can be corrected. Next practice we'll talk about is Sarvang Asana, the topsy-turvy pose. You can see the picture of Sarvang Asana. Today I'm not demonstrating you. Maybe tomorrow I'll demonstrate. So you can just have a look at it. How is the final position? This is the final position. The final position should resemble like this. Your body is standing on the shoulder. Your chin is against the jugular notch. It is touching the chest. And your palms is supporting your back. Your body is straight in one line. It is standing on your shoulder. Hence, it's called Sarvang Asana. Sarvang Asana is made up of two words, Sarv, Ang, and the third Asana. Sarv, Ang. Sarv is whole. Ang is all. Ang is the body parts. Sarvang is whole. Asana is the pose. Practice affecting the whole body. Hence its name Sarvang Asana. It has that influence. Sarvang Asana is the king of all practices. Sarvang Asana is called the king of all the practices, all the asana practices. And as per the traditional text, there are 84 lakh practices mentioned, and Sarvang Asana is the king. Why king? Because of its application of the usage. Sarva Ang, it has an impact on all the body parts. How it has impact on all the body parts? Because when you are in the position of Sarvang Asana, you can see that the thyroid gland, it is in your neck region, is very well stimulated. When you come into the pose, thyroid gland, thyroid granthi is very well stimulated when you are into the pose. And thyroid gland is a very major endocrine gland which has impact and functioning of all the other endocrine glands in our body. And our human system is based on the functioning of endocrine and nervous system. The human body is based on the functioning of endocrine gland and the nervous system. Thyroid gland being affected has impact on all the other glands of the body. Hence, Sarvang Asana, king of all asanas. It is good for people with thyroid. You must know that thyroid is a psychosomatic disorder, and in thyroid, the whole neuroendocrine system of the body is imbalanced. Sarvang Asana helps in that. Its reference comes under the name of विपरीत करनी सर्वांग आसन. जब आप ट्रेडिशनल टेक्स्ट कोई भी योगा का पढ़ेंगे, आपको सर्वांग आसन का रेफरेंस विपरीत करनी के अंडर मिलेगा. It is a further improvement of Uttan Padasana and Vipreet Karni. Uttan Padasana is a practice of asana and it is an improvement of these two practices of yoga. Now, how this practice should be done? From supine position, we learned the supine position is lying on straight on our back. जब अपन लेटने की स्थिति में होते हैं, उसे supine position कहते हैं. We had learned it in the initial slides. So, lying in the supine position, raising both the legs up to 30 degrees, दोनों पांव को 30 डिग्री के कोण पे उठाएंगे. Without bending at the knee, we raise our legs up to 60 degrees, then finally up to 90 degrees. Pressing the palms, we lift our legs back beyond the head so that our hips raise and we take the legs towards the sky. हम अपने legs को towards the sky point out करते हैं, supporting the buttocks from the back by placing the elbows on the ground. Raise the legs till the legs, abdomen, chest form a straight line. You have to raise until your body forms a straight line and comes on your shoulders. This is Sarvangasana. What are the do's and don'ts of the practice? While you are into the pose, your chin should be against the chest. आपका जो chin है, it should be touching the chest. As you could see from the picture, that where is the chin? Chin is very close to your chest. Where your chin touches, when you bend your head down, this part is called the jugular notch. And when you bend this part, the thyroid gland is also stimulated. While returning, lower your buttocks. When you are up into the air, very carefully you have to return. First, you have to bring your hips down. Then you have to bring your hands down. Dividing the weight on your palms, you have to bring your legs slowly close to the floor. Now, these are few points which you should remember while coming. You do not have to give jerks. While you raise your legs up and bring them down, you have to be very careful. There shouldn't be much distance within your elbows. When you stand your body on the shoulders with elbows apart, do not try to widen your elbows too much. Coming to the benefits and limitations of the practice of Sarvangasana helps in removing the symptoms of immature old age, dyspepsia, thyroid, constipation, hernia, visceropeptosis can be treated. People, high blood pressure people, problems with spine, heart problems should not do the practice of Sarvangasana. So any artist can also undergo these diseases. So if anybody has these problems, high blood pressure, spinal ailments, any kind of spinal injuries, heart problems, in that case, one shouldn't do the practice of Sarvangasana. Is there any doubt so far regarding the practices? Anybody can you response? Anybody among you can reply to my question? So I take it as no queries. We move further. Okay, so we move further with the next practice for the visual artist. Next, we'll take up some Shuddhi Kriyas. Shuddhi Kriyas or the cleansing practices. Kriyas, Jalneti. What is Jalneti? Jalneti is cleansing of nasal passage with water. When you clean the nasal passage, it gives very good vision. It's very good for the problems of ENT, ear, nose, eyes. And for visual artists, we need to have good sensory organs. Jalneti is the highly recommended practice. You can see a person is standing with the head tilt one side with a Jalneti pot in hand with its nozzle inserted in one of the nostril. The water in the pot should be lukewarm. The water should be lukewarm. If it shouldn't be very hot or cold, it should be tepid so that it settles well within our own temperature, pH of the body. Inserting the nozzle into one nostril, the water will flow from the other nostril. This practice helps in improving the vision, the sight. of the practitioner. Hence, this is recommended. What is Jal Neti? Now, let us study what is Jal Neti. Jal Neti is one of the 6 cleansing practices of Shat Karma. We find 6 types of cleansing practice in the traditional text, and Jal Neti is one of the technique. Shat Karma की 6 शुद्धि क्रियाओं में से एक है. How this practice should be done? First, doing some preparation. For Jal Neti, we need a Jal Neti pot, we need water and the salt, lukewarm water. So adding in about half teaspoon of salt to a Neti pot. There would be a Neti pot. As you can see in this picture, this is a Neti pot. Neti pot and water is coming out. So you need to have the prerequisite for it. Neti pot full of sterilized lukewarm water. We need to have a salt, and how much salt? Half tablespoon of salt in a pot full of water, and the temperature is tepid, slightly lukewarm. Standing with your leg apart. You need to stand with your leg apart. Hold the Neti pot in your right hand, inserting the nozzle of the Neti pot into your right nostril. Tilt your head, keep the mouth open. Also, when the water is being inserted into the nose, how you would breathe? You would breathe through your mouth. So you need to keep your mouth open. Keeping the mouth open, breathe freely through the mouth. Tilt the head one side, slightly backward. Suppose if you insert the nozzle into the right nostril, you need to tilt your head to the left side, slightly to the left, so that the water from the pot enters the right nostril and comes out through the left nostril. How that water comes down? Because of the force of the gravity. Allow the flow till the pot is empty. You need to make sure that the flow is constant by making that pot empty. You need to do the practice until your pot is completely finished, completely over with the water inside. The same you can repeat on the other nostril, other side. I'll just repeat it for you. Holding the same Neti pot in your left arm this time, tilting your head to one side, insert the nozzle into your left nostril. Allow the water to pour from your left nostril and come out through the right nostril. With your mouth open, breathe through your mouth. After the water finishes, you can straighten your head and be relaxed. Now, few things which you need to do just after you finish the practice of Jal Neti. To clear points to remember. To clear the nasal passage of the remaining water, blow out the water by active exhalation through alternate nostril as in Kapalbhati. Kapalbhati is a practice wherein Kapalbhati is again a yogic practice which comes under the Kriya section, wherein you need to blow the air out through your nostril. आपको तेजी से active exhalation करना होता है दोनों नाक के द्वारा, so that the water comes out. With every exhalation, the abdomen goes in. That is called a practice of Kapalbhati. So just after we finish the practice of Jal Neti, we need to do Kapalbhati, few strokes of Kapalbhati. When we blow out air through the nostril once, with very jerk and force, the abdomen goes in. That is called one stroke of Kapalbhati. So similar 30, 50 strokes in one go would form one round of Kapalbhati. After you are done, you need to tilt tilt your head one side and blow the air out. So that there is no water remaining on the right side of your nostril. Similarly, for the left side, turn your head to the left and start doing Kapalbhati. Kapalbhati is a practice in itself. If you want, I can explain you Kapalbhati in detail in further coming presentations, in further lectures. Then you, from the left side, again you have to blow the air out forcibly through both the nostrils. Then after right and left, you need to bend your head down and again start forceful exhalation, passive inhalation. In Kapalbhati, there is forceful exhalation through both the nostrils. After 30 strokes down, you need to center and relax. This would ensure that there is no retention of the water. Usually with the Jalneti practice, there is a tendency of water to get clogged in your sinus region. This is called the sinus region, this region. So there is a tendency of water to get retained. And then after some time, some practitioner develops headache. So to avoid that, one should practice Kapalbhati. Very important point to be remembered during the practice of Jalneti. Coming to the benefits and the limitations we have in Jalneti, this practice helps to clear the nasal passage. When the water comes out, it removes all the mucus from the mucous membrane, all the foreign materials, giving a very free flow of air in your nose, which gives good vision also. Also, these are some more benefits which we find, very prominent benefits of the practice. This practice helps in removing cold, hypersensitivity. You will find some people are very sensitive. A people with sensitive nose cannot sit for longer period of time. Headache, sinusitis, bronchitis, stimulates olfactory nerves. So it is very beneficial for people experiencing headache, sinus, having problems with their sinuses, bronchitis, having severe problem of bronchitis, and stimulates olfactory nerves. Olfactory nerves is the sensory perception of your nose. It helps you to have a sharper nerves of your nose. Very good for your olfactory nerve, olfactory region. Neti should be avoided if one have had a recent ear infection or nasal septum operation. Who should avoid it practice? People who have undergone recent ear infection, or there is a nasal infection, or this, you will find septum. Our nose, there is a bridge. When you look at our nose, the center bridge is called the septum, through which our nose is divided into right and left halves, equal halves. Our entire body, for that matter, is divided into two equal halves. We started with the brain, right and left. Similarly, our nose is divided into two equal halves, the right and the left. And the division is with the septum. You will find that some people have deviated septum. The septum is not straight. It is slightly curved. So people with curved septum or undergone the operation can avoid this practice. Also avoid the practice for few days after a bleeding nose. If you have bleeding nose, you shouldn't be practicing Jalneti. So this is, we learned about Jalneti. Jalneti is one of the cleansing practice we find in the traditional text. हठ योग की 6 शुद्धि क्रियाओं में से एक है. Next practice which I recommend for the visual artist is Trataka. Trataka is candle gazing. Tratak is to see. See what? Candle gazing is the practice of Tratak. Let us study its steps. You can see a person sitting with a candle and the flame and looking at the candle flame. A person is sitting with the vision on the flame of the candle. We can see a candle, a person, and the vision. So what are the steps to undergo the process of Trataka? Looking intently, looking with an intention, with an unwavering gaze at a small point until the tears are shed. So the practice of first, we should know what is Tratak before we move to its practice. Tratak is looking intently. Intently is when you look to candle with an intention. In this practice, you look to candle because you have an intention with an unwavering gaze. Your gaze is unwavering. It shouldn't waver. That is, it shouldn't blink. At a small point until the tears are shed. कब तक आपको देखना है? जब तक आंखों में से आंसू नहीं आ जाते. Looking intently with an unwavering gaze at a small point until tears are shed is the practice of Tratak. Tratak are of two types. The broad classification of its practice is into two types. One is Bhairang or the external Tratak, and the other is Antarang or the internal Trataka. For the practice of Tratak, we need to sit in Padmasana or Sukhasana. Padmasana is a meditative pose, एक ध्यानात्मक आसन है. And Sukhasana is a simple cross-leg position. When we sit while we eat our food, Sukhasana, जिसमें सुख की अनुभूति हो, hence Sukhasana. Sitting in Padmasana or Sukhasana, set gaze on a flame of a candle for some time. We need to look at the flame of a candle. We need to have candle at our arm's length in front of us, and we need to set our gaze on that flame of the candle. And the distance should be 1 arm between the candle and the person sitting, the practitioner. As our eyes start to blink, we need to close the eyes. The moment we experience any blinking or when your eyes start to waver, we need to close the eyes and just be with the after effect of the practice. Once we are done with this, forms one round, and once we are done with the one round, we can go for second and third round. After third round, no need of further practice is required for a day. So these were the steps in the practice of Tratak. What all you need for Tratak? We need a candle, stand and matchstick and a practitioner. Now coming to what are the do's and don'ts of the practice. As the eyes start to flicker, do not keep gazing. Close your eyes and start again. As soon you experience that your eyes has flickered or it has blinked, you need to close your eyes and you can start the practice again. Do not unnecessarily strain your eyes. While looking at the flame of the candle, you do not have to unnecessarily, there shouldn't be any frown. How we can know about the strain in your eyes? When you start to frown in order to look, that you should have to avoid. You have to take care. Benefits and limitation. Coming to the benefits and the limitation of the Tratak practice. The practice of Tratak helps in purifying the eyes. It strengthens the eye muscles and improves the vision and the memory. Memory is a very important aspect for an artist. This practice, it's not suitable for people with psychic problems, people having psychosomatic disorders, people having mental derailments. The practice shouldn't be done with the patient. जिन्हें मानसिक तनाव, मानसिक problems हैं, they shouldn't be doing the practice of Trataka. Any problems related to mind, severe problems, migraine, or mental derailments should not do the practice. The practice helps in developing intuition, the ability to visualize and willpower. The most and the foremost benefit of the Tratak is that it helps develop intuition. Intuition building, the ability to visualize and willpower, आपकी इच्छा शक्ति. For an artist, it's very important to have intuition. Intuition, you can see the scientific application, how intuition can be built within. Because the practice have an impact on the pituitary gland, which is a gland found in our brain. So it helps in developing intuition, the ability to visualize, and the willpower. Now, coming to the pranayama, after the practices, some asana practice, cleansing practices, we'll talk about the pranayama. So I'm going to take up Anulom Vilom Pranayam, Nadi Shodhan Pranayam, and Brahmari Pranayam for the day. And also we are, so first, I'll just take up a slight introduction to Nadi Shodhan, alternate breathing practice. Alternate nostril breathing. Adopting the Padmasana pose, the yogi should draw the air in. One has to adopt Pran Mudra with the thumb on the right nostril, ring finger on the left. One has to inhale with the left nostril, closing the left, exhaling through right. Again inhaling with right, closing and exhaling through left. Forms one round of the practice of Anulom Vilom Pranayam. Now the further explanation of pranayam will be given to you in your next lecture, which will be held tomorrow. If there are any doubts, any inquiries, you can ask regarding the practice, regarding the usage.
What is the right time to do these asanas?
Sorry.
I just wanted to know the right time to do all these asanas. Is it compulsory to do all these asanas in the morning or any time?
Ma'am, these can be practiced any time of the day with some considerations. You need to, but best if done in morning. Otherwise, with light stomach, you can practice all these practice. There's no limitations with the timings, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any more doubts, queries? Feel free to ask your doubts.
Okay, ma'am.
All right.
As we don't have any more questions, we would end the session now. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful session. I would like to inform the participants that we will continue this session tomorrow at 3 p.m. Kindly join. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.